Good morning and welcome to Practical Christian Lessons. Today we are going over Wisdom of Sirach 49. Just a quick heads up, next week's schedule, like this week's, is going to be a little topsy-turvy. Watch our Monday video, Tuesday and Wednesday video, we talk about that. Today we are going to be getting into Wisdom of Sirach 49, but be sure next Saturday we're going to be having a live stream and there will be a community post out on the channel that will have the time, and we'll be talking about the three primary means of grace according to John Wesley, which is prayer, reading scriptures, and the Eucharist, or communion for some. Today, we're going to Wisdom of Sirach 49, Josiah and Jeremiah. The remembrance of Josiah is like the composition of incense, prepared by the work of the perfumer. In every mouth it is sweet like honey, and like the music at a banquet with wine. He led in the conversation of the people, and he removed the abominations of lawlessness. He directed his heart to the Lord, and in the days of lawlessness he strengthened godliness. Except for David, Hezekiah, and Josiah, all offended continually, for they forsook the law of the Most High. The kings of Judah failed, for they gave their power to others, and their glory to a foreign nation. They set fire in the chosen city of the sanctuary, and desolated her streets, according to the word of Jeremiah, for they did him evil. He who was sanctified as a prophet, while still inside his mother, to root out, to afflict, and to destroy, and likewise to build and to plant. Ezekiel himself saw a vision of glory, which the Lord showed him on a chariot of cherubim. For he remembered his enemies with a thunderstorm, and did good to those who directed their ways aright. May he indeed revive the bones of the 12 prophets from their place, for they encouraged the people of Jacob, and redeemed them with steadfast hope. How shall we magnify Zerubbabel? He was surely like a seal upon the right hand, and so was Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, who in their days built the house, and raised up a holy temple to the Lord, one prepared unto eternal glory. This is the lasting memory of Nehemiah, who raised for us the walls that had fallen, and he established gates and locks, and raised against our home sites. No one like Enoch was created upon the earth, for he himself was taken up from the earth. Neither has a man like Joseph been born, the leader of his brothers, and the support of his people, and they watched over his bones. Shem and Seth were honored among men, and Adam over every living thing in creation. And if you can tell, as the author is about to wrap up the Wisdom of Sirach, he's clearly sort of like climaxing the historic narrative here. Right there is one more section of names. That's the next 4 verses of the next chapter, and then the next one after that's the Day of Atonement. So he's just like, hey, we're coming to the end. Here's the big conclusion. Here's why we've been going through this history here at the end. And I like the way he says it of Josiah. In every mouth it is sweet like honey, and like the music at a banquet with wine, as it is to remember him. And I think that's, I kind of wish there was a few chapters back. I'm not going to touch on it again in this video, except just to mention it. It was a video earlier this week talking about how, it was the first video of the week Monday, which you should go check out anyway, is about remembering the saints, that and sort of using the saints as models. And Josiah is like one of those classic go-tos. He's even in the genealogy of Jesus, and I wrote a paper on using the genealogy as a point as part of the narrative of Matthew, and being like, yeah, Josiah is here to be sort of like a reference, like this is what Jesus is going to be like, and sort of has a similar historical structure here of like saints. And yes, there are some interesting flavors and shortcomings of some of these saints that are specifically highlighted, like Solomon, son of Bathsheba, stuff like that. And then you also have really wicked, evil kings, and then you have kings like Josiah mixed in. And I think it's a lot like this narrative where he's mentioning here, Israel has fallen short, but look at these great saints and these prophets who are about giving us hope and holding on to steadfast hope and renewing the hope of the people in the face of this misery. Like, right, Jesus ben Sirach, this is part of the Apocrypha, so this is the intertestamental period. So this is not like the highest time of Israel. There's a lot of rough times in the intertestamental period. And clearly there are also times of peace. It's not quite all like doom and gloom, but it's overall not Israel's favorite time to remember in history. It is a far cry from when David was reigning on the throne. But that's also something worth reflecting on here is, at least here in the West for a long time, we've had it pretty easy, even still today. Even if you are a Christian and things are getting a bit more inconvenient for us here in the West, it's still largely very easy for us as opposed to other places around the world where parents have to watch their children be taken in front of them and ended in the streets and are forced to watch it and say, leave your faith now, or we will continue to do this. Or places like in the underground Church of China, where their seminarians, part of their training is to how to jump out of a 2-story building without breaking your legs. Like, that's built into their seminary education. We've got a real gravy compared to that, and not that bad. But one way to sort of think about, right, how can we be ready for tougher times? How can we be ready to go on like a mission field and go to places where it might not be so friendly, or where if we're being very public and evangelizing, and even if we're just like at work and sharing our faith with others, how can we prepare to just handle people pushing back on us? I mean, like, hey, that's why are you like this? Why are you pushing back against our way of doing things here? Or why are you so hateful? Stuff like that you'll hear a lot in certain environments, and just thinking about how can I be ready in those environments. It's reflecting on the saints who've come before us. I guess we're going to do sort of repeat of Monday, reflecting on those who've come before us and in our present time, and like how do they deal with this in their environments? How did they face, right? How did Josh and Caleb, to go back, react to the fear of others around them looking at the giants? How did David react when he was being hunted by Saul? And how did the prophets react when the people of Israel looked at them and he would either mock them or torture them or kill them? Like, what did they do? Right? Who did they lean on? Of course, it's God. But what were the steps they took? And how did they prepare themselves to go into these situations? And we can do that today ourselves as well. And we can use them as the same models for that. I think that'd be something very much worth reflecting on here today, is how to prepare for the tough times, because there will be tough times, not just clearly in our personal lives, but in our lives of faith. There will be times where our faith is tested, and there are going to be people who are going to push back on our faith, especially in the modern day. And we need to be ready for that and be ready to give an answer for our faith. That's just that's a scriptural commandment. Be ready to give an answer for your faith. And we can learn to do that by looking to those who know how to do it and have done it, and those who are long past who did it before us. And we don't have to just try and figure it out on our own. And if you don't know where to start, go talk to your pastor. Our pastors are there for us to talk to them. And you can schedule appointments. You can talk to other staff. If your church is big enough, you might have multiple pastors, right? Go find someone, talk to them, and see if they can help you get started. That's my advice for you guys today. You guys have a wonderful day, and God bless.